Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. Mazel Tov again to the Babcock family. So I have always loved dogs. When I was about 2 years old, I went to pet the family cat while it was eating, and it quickly turned and clawed me across the face. So just as quickly, dogs became my favorite. For years, I pined for a pup, jealous of my friends who had dogs at home. One might even say I violated one of the 10 commandments by coveting my neighbor's Shih Tzu, wishing that it was our family pet instead of theirs. Now, our family brought a puppy home to join us for the first time a year before I went to college, naturally. And this was before I became a vegetarian, so naturally we named him Brisket. Now, I now have 3 children of my own who are borderline domesticated, so a pet dog isn't in the cards for us at this moment in life. But I've joked with my wife, Miriam, that if we ever do get a dog, I would want to give it a Jewish name, traditionally associated with those of more seasoned generations. I mean, who wouldn't want to be able to shout out, "Ira, get me the newspaper! Beatrice, don't pee on the neighbor's lawn!" Or Herschel, stop dragging your tush on the carpeting. Now, of course, I say this all a little bit tongue-in-cheek, because in general, I think it's safe to say that many of us don't love the idea of a dog being called by our names, by human names. There's a reason that dog names have historically been different than people names. How many people named Fido do you know? A philosopher once asked Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi, the redactor of the Mishnah, our early legal code, the following: "Since when does a superior individual demean himself by being jealous of someone way below him physically and mentally?" The rabbi answered him, "Well, how would you feel if someone called your dog by your name? Doesn't it make sense you'd be angry being compared to a dog?" And the philosopher was forced to agree. This teaching comes from Chizkuni, a 13th century commentator, and it comes in response to a core question: how and why is God described as being a jealous God in the 10 Commandments? Shouldn't God be above worrying about other inferior gods? As a quick refresh, when giving us the 10 Commandments at Sinai, we read in commandment number 2, prohibiting idol worship, the following: Ki anochi Adonai Elohecha Elkanah, for I, Adonai, your God, am a jealous God. The Torah teaches that as human beings, we're created in the image of God, and God exhibits a number of character attributes in our sacred texts that seem to be less than what we might consider ideal. In this case, jealousy. Now, this morning we read one of many Torah narratives focused on jealousy. And in particular, we read verses in which a husband is convinced that his wife has cheated on him, and he gets insanely jealous, but there are no witnesses to the supposed crime. The Torah says the husband has to bring his wife to a priest and then describes a procedure involving both spells and potions. It's right out of Harry Potter. And in short, we have an insanely jealous husband exerting an uncomfortable level of control over his wife, and the Torah seems to make space for it. To their credit, the rabbis of the Talmud made significant modifications due to their discomfort with the text's instructions. What is it to be jealous? And is jealousy inherently an unhealthy emotion? And if so, how can it also be divine? Now, in certain contexts, such as the one that we've just described with an out-of-line husband, or when trying to keep up with the Steins, or coveting what belongs to our neighbor, we see how jealousy can indeed be harmful. In Genesis, Cain kills Abel out of jealousy after Abel's offering is accepted by God and Cain's is rejected, meaning that the first recorded murder in human history was due to jealousy. The Talmud teaches that anyone who has jealousy in his heart during his lifetime, his bones rot in the grave. But we also read in the Talmud the opinion of Rav Yosef Bar Choni, who teaches that a man is jealous of everyone except for his children and his students. Why? Since their success reflects well upon him, he celebrates their success. But otherwise, jealousy is the status quo and an innate aspect of human nature. Framed differently, jealousy may actually have the potential to be a healthy emotion. In the Talmud, we find this teaching. Rabbi said, if there's a teacher of children who teaches a few subjects, and there's a second teacher who teaches more subjects than the first, you don't get rid of the first teacher from his position in order to hire the second, because maybe the second teacher will become complacent due to lack of competition. Now, Rav Dimi from Nardea says, on the contrary, the second teacher will teach better if he knows that he's the only instructor, because there's a key principle that jealousy among teachers increases wisdom. The second teacher will know that the first teacher who was dismissed will try to refine his skills so that he'll be rehired, and this will prevent complacency on the part of the second teacher. In this case, the rabbis of the Talmud feel that jealousy is a desirable trait, which if harnessed can lead to positive outcomes. Jealousy can also make us want to be better people. When we see family or friends exhibiting exceptional character traits, such as generosity, patience, discipline, and the like, jealousy can inspire us to take action steps to be more like them. Going even further, what if to be jealous is to care, with the opposite of jealousy being passivity? Freud taught that jealousy and envy are core components in forming our concept of justice. It is most often those who are discontent with how things are in the world, that is, jealous of what could be, who are inspired to work towards needed social change. If God can be jealous at times, even when to be so is seemingly beneath God's stature and status, it's only natural for us as humans to be jealous at times as well. Now, while allowing for jealousy to consume us or to cause us to harm others, as we find in this week's Torah portion, is clearly unhealthy and unacceptable, having an appropriate amount of jealousy can absolutely be a positive character trait, divine even. And with that energy harnessed can allow us to transform the world for the better for all people and dogs, whatever their names may be. Shabbat Shalom.